Welcome everyone to the Real Whovians cast. I am your host, Matrix Lord 212, and I am with Connor. What's up, Connor?
Welcome to the Real Whovians cast. I'm your host, Connor Farley.
There you go. What's up, David Aston?
Yes, hello. Hello, and I am Friedrich Hans from Germany.
What's up, Philip Archer?
Welcome to the Real Whovians cast, and I'm Joe's new director. Hello.
There you go! Oh, new director! Because we have diversity, baby! This mother! We got a David Aston thinking he's Chinese. I mean, what's happening now?
I'm Chinese, yes. I was British, then I became German, and now I am...
Schnell Wechselzinen! Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, I would like to know how popular is Doctor Who in the UK right now?
Not very.
No. They don't speak for me. That's a Londoner. That's a Northerner. I'm from the East Midlands.
Oh.
They're the common sort, you know.
Oh, so you're in the fucking middle ground. Fuck.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
Philip is above us both. Connor's beneath us both.
Jesus. All right, so what is your take, David, in your area of Doctor Who?
I don't know, really. I can recall once upon a time Nicholas... Yeah. The one who played Nicholas Courtney actually did come to Moulton Theatre many moons ago for a convention or something.
No, but my question is the popularity. Like, is everybody in your area loving Doctor Who?
That proves how... It's not much of a... Well, there's fans, but there's not much of a community of Whovians, as far as I'm aware. But in the UK, I think it's fair to say, really.
It's on a wane, don't you think?
Basically, it's going down a bit like a married couple's sex life, you know?
When you think about it, though, look how much investment Doctor Who as a show is being put across overseas rather than in England.
I think the peak of Doctor Who in the UK fan-wise was probably the 70s.
Yes. I'll agree with that.
But what about when David Tennant was
That's why Tom Baker's so popular.
Mm-hmm.
What about with David Tennant? Wasn't super popular in the UK when David Tennant was a Doctor?
No, it was still building back up.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was popular, but it wasn't as popular as it was in the 70s.
I see.
Well, I think yes. Yeah, the Tennant here was actually a return to the golden age in some ways, from my point of view.
That depends on how you look at it, though. I mean, people look at it as being because of the fangirls looking at this beautiful young man that's dashing around the universe and, you know, making them feel inclusive, if that's the word you want to use. Whereas in the 70s, it was all about adventuring, actual seeing alien monsters left, right, and centre. These days, it's very suburban and very sort of like all about.
I mean, as portrayed in An Adventure in Space and Time, in the 60s and 70s, you have kids running around in Dalek costumes.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
That's
so. What are they dressed like now, Jon Snow?
No, you don't even get. Well, no, you don't even get that anymore because it's all about social media.
Mm.
Yeah, but it's a little. Well, you can't really compare the 70s to now in regards to social media because they didn't. Everything news-wise travelled way. Well, it's light speed now. It's like comparing, you know, a horse and car. You know, Steptone's son to blooming Knight Rider, isn't it?
Wow.
Knight Rider meets Steptone's son.
In the 70s, I weren't appeased about how the fandom was back then because I was a very shallow. Like I just watched Doctor Who on TV, went to school, everybody talked about it at school, and then we all running around pretending to be the monsters that were on the episodes in those days. But
I was basically alone, where nobody knew what the fuck I was talking about. And I got my ass kicked because there was no Doctor Who really here. That people did not know to change the channel, and that the bottom thing with the UHF, and it was like a whole thing. It wasn't even on regular TV, and I introduced a friend into Doctor Who, but nobody else in the whole entire school, anywhere knew what Doctor Who was. Even in my teens, nobody knew. Even, I mean, my 20s, nobody knew. It's like it took like New Who.
Doctor Who didn't actually get noticeably popular in the US until Matt Smith.
Well, we didn't know. No, it did air Tom Baker. Like they did know Tom Baker's Doctor. It wound up reaching. It wound up reaching one of the channels, but they put it on such a weird time that
that's why Moffat's popular, because he grew the American brand.
Yeah,
right.
No, that's not technically true. Doctor Who was very popular in the 80s. It was John Nathan Turner who actually was.
Well, not here. Not here. It wasn't.
It was. No. It was popular in America, hugely popular. And John Nathan Turner, as pointed out by Doctor Who magazine, was smart enough to realise that conventions were going to take off. That's why he made a point of going over there.
Doctor Who appeared on WLIW channel 21. It appeared on 31, and it appeared on New Jersey Network channel 58, Lionheart, whatever the thing, BBC, whatever. But they had a thing on public television where you had to have a pledge drive to keep Doctor Who on, and people had spent $200 to get a Doctor Who mug. And like ridiculous stuff. If you wanted the scarf,
which is now called Kickstarter.
Which if you wanted the scarf, you had to spend like $600.
That's two foreshadowings of what happens regularly now. Conventions, Kickstarter.
Right, but it wasn't still well known. Like my generation, like really didn't know it that well. Like there was nobody that I could talk to about it. There was no way. Like my dad knew what it was, and then some older people, but like nobody really. It was only when, like you said, when Moffat brought it here, like started coming to New York, started doing different things. But like Russell T Davies, like they had it on. I think it was the Sci-Fi Channel, but they wouldn't put it on. We had to wait like 5 months or 6 months, I think, or something like that.
Well, the thing is, when I've read Doctor Who magazine, they've done some articles looking back at American lady who organised all these conventions with Doctor Who in the 80s and was actually close to. It's very close to John Nathan Turner, and it's almost like a time capsule. And it's weird seeing conventions, and apparently a lot of, at the time, if they'd gone into co-production with an American channel or network, they would have easily been able to secure money, because it was so, you had Jessica Fletcher and lots of British actors becoming popular in TV shows and all this posh
it's like the equivalent of if there was, say, it's not actual numbers. Let's say New York, let's say Staten Island had like 2 billion people, right? 2 million people, right? Maybe there was a dozen or like 100 people that watched Doctor Who, which is not, that's even a huge number, by the way, because
that's what they should have done, though, Joe. They should have got money from an American network or something like that and done a co-production, because that's what Doctor Who really needed. It needed an increase in budget.
I mean, we had the Starlog magazine. We had and then magazines came after. But Doctor Who was very light and like hardly anything about Doctor Who in there. And like we didn't have the computer. We didn't have like this stuff. We had to wait every month for a magazine to come out. And if you wanted to communicate with them, you had to write a letter and submit it into them. And your letter might not appear for another 2 months after that.
Yeah. Sure.
So when I was younger, young Matrix Lord 2 and 2, I had sent in a whole entire theory.
Joe, are you watching that blimey TV show again?
I sent a whole theory for Back to the Future, and I got in a Back to the Future magazine. I got like a whole thing in it. but it takes forever to get in there because it was like nowadays we would see that as like slow time. Now it's like instant. People are doing videos, people are doing whatever.
I appeared in the Doctor Who magazine 3 times in the letters segment.
Really?
In the past, during the Capaldi era, I wrote a few.
I only appeared once, and I was like this big in there, but with my reaction to Davros, that was it. It was like this big. It was a
bit ironic though, because there are certain instances where future people who would write episodes or even direct it, like Russell T Davies or even Stephen Moffat himself, appeared in Doctor Who magazine years and years before they would, start actually being the ones who make Doctor Who.
Is there a reason why Russell T Davies and Moffat did not want their books to be released in America?
I never heard of that.
No idea.
Like the Rose adaptation and
what's that all about? I never heard of that before. I thought
it was not. It was like, I mean, you would have to buy it on the Kindle, but like the actual physical copy, you cannot buy it here. You would have to. I mean, I don't know. I'd have to go to the UK thing, and then I don't know.
So sometimes they release the American. I might be coming out early next year.
Oh, is it? Okay. Because
are you saying you haven't got it yet? Are you saying that you haven't got it in book form yet over there?
No,
that's unusual.
We don't actually. Let me just. I mean,
I added that Harry guy to Facebook along with Philip Archer. Thank you, Philip, by the way.
You're more than welcome.
And I sent him a message saying, I bet you're glad they started doing the Target books again, because he's got a fantastic collection of Target novels.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was lucky that I was able to purchase Simon Fisher Becker's book. On Amazon. But I cannot purchase his second book, which is Let Zygons Be Zygons. I see. You know what it is? I'm old fashioned.
Somebody's finally done it. They've used that fucking pun.
Yeah, I know. Hats off to Dorian Moldovar there, which is a great guy, by the way. But hopefully we can get him on one day. I like the physical copies though. I don't like the Kindle, like reading it like that on the phone. I'm old fashioned, and I want Moffat. I want Russell T Davies' book. I buy it. I mean,
I don't like downloads.
You're not making it easy for me, obviously. So I mean, hopefully I can get it the moment it gets released.
It's the same as having downloads of music or albums. You can't hold it in your hand. It's not physical.
Well, see, music is different. Music, our phones are like our own stereo system, our own library. I mean, I every day I listen to my music on my phone traveling to work all the time. Any song I want, which is awesome. But it's different when, like, I want to actually read a book, not with the light of the iPhone blinding me. I want like an actual looking at the pages with the light on me and reading it old-fashioned time. Like I want to be able to grab it anytime I want and read it. I like the physical copies, even with the comics. That's why I won't get the digital copies. I don't like that. Even my video games, I like to have the physical copies rather than the digial. So
they weren't being very commercial with it, though, were they, Philip? But in the 80s, or especially, not like they are now. I mean, in regards to America.
He's right. You're right, because I didn't have any outlet to find out more about Doctor Who when it was running around through the 70s and the 80s. For one, I was a bit too young to understand that sort of thing anyway, and for two, I just didn't have the access to it. So, but now,
Doctor Who magazine.
Doctor Who magazine, I get it every time. I've been buying it since it first came out. I still collect them, and it's a waste of space. I know there's lots of papers everywhere of Doctor Who magazines, but I like it, and it's part of my growing up.
Yeah, I used to get it when I used to get it religiously, and then they kept raising the price, and then after a while, like you said, you run out of room. Yeah. I mean, and like I'll get it occasionally, only because unless I had upgrade, I need space for it, So
I'll still get it. I still get it, even if I'm running out of space, because I'll find somewhere to put them.
You know what it is? I collect comics, so
But it's
have
even
like
more expensive in America. It's
like
really
13
taking a
bucks.
piss.
Yeah, you said it's about 13, 15 bucks, and it's only about $5.99 over here.
It's
I'm like,
ridiculous.
why is the price so different from over here, though? Is that why?
I think because they ship it from, they have to charge shipping maybe.
Yeah, that's
No.
probably the case.
If
Yeah.
you get something
Maybe
shipped
$5
from
for
the
shipping.
US,
Or $7 for shipping alone.
no. It's the same if you're in the UK. You know, you sort of get it shipped through Redbubble or Ecstasy.com.
Well, I
And
remember.
that's not porn, by the way. That's
I remember sending my book to somebody.
$12. $12 in shipping on top of what you pay.
I remember sending my books to somebody in the UK, and it cost me a lot of money to ship all the way to
Holy
that person's your buddy there's house that he probably burned it anyway, but West Midlands own. But anyway,
But going back to Doctor Who in itself and
yeah.
how it sort of like how it grows from one side to the other. I just think that now, these days, there's a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? What's the word I'm looking for?
Competition.
There is a lot of competition to it, but I should think, even though we spoke about this, that the journey stuff is all slow at the moment, and it's not building up enough ructions to for people to go, wow, the next Doctor's coming. It's a bit slow on the uptake at the moment. I don't know why that is, though.
I am disappointed we really didn't get another trailer, and that they keep using the little trailer that we had where they showed her breathing, and then Jodie Whittaker's talking about, oh, the Doctor has to go through this and this and this, and then they show the companions breathing like, oh, like whatever, and then it's like, could we have some more footage, please? Like, it's just, it's really slim.
I think I'm hoping we'll get one last dig at a trailer with a lot more to it than what we got so far. I'm hoping that's the case. If
you don't
not,
think people are disappointed though that they don't have it? Like, you don't think that will hurt them watching it because they just it's like freaking so locked down on this stuff. It's like people may not bother after a while, right? I mean, it's just like give up to see this stuff.
It depends what we got coming between now and October the 7th. So if they ramp up themselves between now and then we should be okay. But I doubt it. It is a bit late in the game.
Yeah, how come there's not like a zillion people doing podcasts on Doctor Who in the UK? It's very like, is that really because of the popularity? Like, it's really gone down where there's only
nothing to talk about. There's nothing really to talk about.
Right. Yeah, there's just a select few, right? And it's just even when it is to talk about though, there's not a lot of people doing podcast stuff in the UK. I mean, we know, different people, but
as you know, once the show starts hitting the airways, then we'll have something to chew over, and there'll be a lot more people doing podcasts about it.
Do you think we'll have a new generation in the UK of people doing podcasts, like new people to YouTube, like just that weren't there before, or
that's a few. That's a few.
Do you think Jodie will bring new fans, like by the millions?
Not by the millions.
Nah.
She might bring new fans in, yeah.
I mean, maybe we need some, it would be nice to have some new people.
It will sort of inject a new blood into it, as it were. It'll be a transfusion of vampire Time Lord blood.
Jesus. When the cash just goes.
I really want her to do well. I want her to do really well.
I don't think anybody wants her to fail, really. I mean,
No.
Maybe some people do, not me. I want her to be.
I'm just afraid that a lot of people are just going to be so sticking a mud about it because they want to be.
I think you have to be pretty bitter person to want it to fail completely.
See, I complain, and I may come off as a dick to some people, and some people think I am a dick. But like, I really want it to do well. Like, I want to be happy talking about it. It's not fun for me that I'm angry about it and like doing casts. But I want to be happy, So I want to enjoy it. I want it to be
you are entitled to be negative about something.
I mean, see, that's the thing. It's like if you don't like something, it's like the wording about negativity. It's like, how could you be negative if you love the show and you devote a lot of time to it? And then it's like I don't understand that. Like, I know Paul would say constantly that we're negative, but then when a Radio Times article says something negative about Doctor Who, it's not negative. And I'm like, well, why is that the case? Because there were people that are doing articles, and then when it's like, oh well, that opinion's respected, but what about our opinion? Like that's what I really don't get. I think that the word negativity is misconstrued sometimes. I think
you can be negative in a good way rather than in a bad way.
how about just not? I mean, not like an episode. I mean, that's just
Yeah.
I don't know. Hopefully, I'll be enjoying it and happy about it.
Fucking hell, Connor's silent, isn't it?
And now it begins.
Come on, Connor, put your pennies in.
I don't know, to be honest. It's weird because we're in a weird position where we've got a new doctor coming in that's different from the rest because of her gender, and there's been a lot of contention around it. There's been a lot of debate since the 80s. So,
you don't think the BBC pissed people off too, though?
Yeah, especially with the whole legal stuff recently. That might massively impact on not necessarily new audiences, but the fans that already exist getting around.
I mean, I've seen people doing podcasts and stuff before and everything, and some people would make fun of like us being negative, and then they got like fucking shit handed to them from the BBC, and then you hear BBC sucks ass, and it's like what?
I got
the BBC. It's like whoa.
I got a question. Was it necessary for Chibnall to voice the fact that he's not going to have any returning, like the Posanata gang and all that kind of thing?
Yeah,
I
think it was. I think
that was needed.
Yeah,
he didn't need to say that at all. It's just the fact that
he did. I think he did.
Why? Because no one really was expecting to see them anyway, were they? Or not?
Yeah. A lot of people are like, oh, river. Like they always want fucking river.
It ain't over till the fat lady sings.
It's just a point of that he didn't need to make
River's story has been done for 6 years, but still fans go on about how they want River. It's like the show can't explore new territory because people are so hung up on past things.
Exactly my point, though. Exactly.
Now the one thing I didn't agree with him on was the Weeping Angels. Like, you can bring back the Weeping Angels, but make it new, make it different. Because to be honest,
Connor, they've done the Weeping Angels 3 times in 3 different ways, and it's just like how many other ways can you make the Weeping Angels?
Well, you did. To be fair, the only time that the Weeping Angels were ever really unique, and the reason why they're so popular is because of that one episode, Blink.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Beyond that, they kind of lost their kind of like wow factor.
Paternoster Gang, not needed.
No,
River,
I can't stand that. I can't stand that. No way.
Missy's story ended in Doctor Falls. Everyone saw it. That was the end.
Yeah, but people are still thinking that she's still alive beyond that. And I'm like, don't do that. Come on, man.
The reason why people think that she's alive is because Michelle Gomez flat out came out and said, I want to change my mind because I really want to appear with Jodie Whittaker. Yeah, this is a real fucking article. This is real shit.
I remember that, but it won't change Chibnall's mind. Missy's story is done. It had an ending. To come back, and it's a show about time travel. It's out of order. But to come back,
that's the thing I wanted to talk about. If I could just jump in.
Yeah.
Isn't it ironic that the time traveler's wife came out first, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Moffat took the whole concept of them being out of order and put that for River.
Yes, good point.
And now he's doing fucking time traveler's wife. That's fucking ironic.
Yeah, that is weird.
Mm-hmm.
And besides, then he started doing other fucking shit where it wasn't just River being out of order.
Perhaps he might do something one day where he's actually coming up with an idea of his own, not just ripping.
This whole thing about non-linear storytelling doesn't work in a TV format. It works in film. There's many filmmakers that use it, but I just don't. I think in the case of River, it's been so bad. It's been shit. I haven't once thought that River was a good character.
The only reason that the whole point was that Moffat did not like the character, not the actress, the character of Rose Tyler. And on every fucking occasion, he threw something in there, whether it be a love interest for the Doctor or a distraction or something, to try to get the Doctor to be fucking away from her. Now, he had a masterpiece. Well, he started with, The Empty Child, Dr. Dances, introduced Captain Jack. Boom! Captain Jack's dancing around Rose Tyler. There's a mixture in there now. Where the Doctor's
he's coming
because
back
the Doctor
anyway.
can't get close, like boom, because he's there, But then when he came back, he did The Girl in the Fireplace.
Yeah.
And immediately they had Mickey in there. So they couldn't get close, and then he just was in love with Madame de Pompadour, which was, crazy. And then he keeps doing it. Like, he brings in River. He does a thing that David Tennant, because he tried to go and use Russell T. Davis's thing, and he's married to this, trying to show that the Doctor's in love with all these people, but like Rose Tyler, and then even Clara. Like it's like Moffat has been doing tryouts for girlfriends for the Doctor because he fucking hates Rose Tyler, but none of the fans agreed with it mostly. And he's fucking. And then when they had to bring Billie Piper back, he's like, "Oh fuck, Rose Tyler, I'm making her the moment and shit." And it was like,
But the point is, the Doctor doesn't need to have a love interest. We don't need to see love interest for the Doctor.
Correct.
It's all about
But Moffat basically kept fucking even he made Amy Pond almost like close with the Doctor, and then he changed it mid thing, and then she loves Rory. You're gonna get married, and then you're sticking your tongue down his throat, and then you're gonna get married the next day. Like Moffat even admits he fucked up there, like totally. So honestly, it's he always did it subconsciously, trying to fucking have a love interest.
I just don't want Jodie to have a love interest of any kind. Right now. I just want her to be the alien Time Lord, traveling around with friends, having the fights with God knows who across the universe. I don't want to. I want to kiss you. I want to hug you. I want to do whatever you want to. No, thank you.
Talk to Chibnall, because he's going. I'm telling you right now, he's going to do it.
It looks like it.
He's definitely going to do it. Even before that whole Rose Tyler thing came about, he was going to do it. So it's like Agent Smith said to fucking Neo, it's inevitable. Basically.
Well, fuck Rose Tyler. I don't want to fucking see her ever again.
I love Rose Tyler. Come on.
Let's move on.
How great was like Turn Left with her and Donna Noel? Well, it's fucking fantastic.
They didn't bring the Brigadier back for seven bloody years.
See, I never liked them doing that to the Brigadier. I thought that was fucked up. But I understand that the estate of the Brigadier, and Nicholas Courtney got money from that, which is nice that the family got money. Yes, but
the whole point is when he came back, he didn't. The Brigadier only came back because Ian Chesterton actor didn't want to appear in Mordred Undead, and two, you didn't see the Brigadier shoving his tongue down Peter Davison's throat.
Jesus. What the hell do we ever think of seeing that?
Okay, so what is everyone's hopes and fears for season 11 then? What are your hopes and fears of that?
I think they're going to turn Doctor Who into like Carmen Sandiego or fucking some educational bullshit thing that's so foreign from sci-fi and fucking shit. And you'll be like, where's the aliens? They're on there on strike? That fucking guy is a villain because he's wearing a weird tie and shit. Crooked Tie Man or some shit. I mean, there's probably not going to be the villains that we did. I think the problem is, and you can tell me I'm wrong, but he's got to have in his head the marketing potential of the villains. Like when you're creating villains,
that's a good point.
You want to have an action figure. that you can actually have an action figure of the villain, maybe make a memorable villain. He's creating shit that's like when they put the Titans out for series 1 of Doctor Who, which was like almost a failure, where there was like no, it was like no real people in there that were villains, like fucking editor and shit. It's like, what the fuck? So like, he needs to. You're doing a new series, new show, or a new Doctor. Wouldn't you want to woo the audience with new villains that look like something new, like the Jadoon or some shit, like some.
The
race?
BBC would be very pissed off. I think Joe's right. If there were no new villains or monsters that they could turn into toys, because since Star Wars,
it's all about
they've done that. They've created characters purely just to create a toy, even though the character had nothing to do of any real value to the storyline or film or TV show.
Are we even sure we're going to get any monsters this season? Because we've seen Jack All.
I'm pretty sure we're going to get the Santarans.
You mean that because of that photo that we've seen, where the imagery of the thing?
I think because I think we're going to see some classic monsters, but I think he just doesn't want to say anything.
Okay.
Oh, you wouldn't want to say. I suppose it would ruin the surprise, I guess.
Yeah, but you got
if they bring back the Centaurians, I think I seem to recall in a previous chat, one of these chats, somebody, I can't remember who, said the Centaurians would come back as, not the literal comedy characters, but the proper, some very wise, intelligent, handsome bloke.
Yeah, I said have like an 8-foot or 7-foot tall fucking Centauran that was smart and shit. Yeah. That was like natural, not like not the shitty degraded clone. Right.
Tall, imposing Klingon, just like the Klingons were in The Next Generation, who is military, clever, and could be a real worthy opponent for a female doctor. You
would have the Jodie Whittaker doctor figure like this big, and then you would have a fucking Centauran figure this fucking big from her. Like, you imagine how cool that would be if like she's this tall and then the fucking Centauran's like this big.
You
want to make them terrifying. You want to make them fucking like really.
So that's
fucking
the
massive threat to the Daleks.
They brought the Silurians back, and that's the most horrible fucking reinvention ever. They completely missed the point of the Dalek reinvention, is that they updated it, but they didn't change it too much.
Well, they did. Because the thing is, the Silurians looked like the Slee stacks from Land of the Lost with the armor on. Exactly, almost. Like, you could put the Land of the Lost
Silurians as they originally were. They could have just brought them back and just have a slightly more updated, better improved costume, and that was it. Yeah, instead they were brought back to look like just people in costumes.
Yeah, and they lost the ability of the third eye, which I was a bit pissed about. Yeah. They should have kept the third eye thing of the Silurians, and they didn't keep that.
If it ain't broken, don't need to fix it.
Yeah.
And the Sea Devils need to come back fucking exact. But like more, they could do more with the costume where they can make like a thing look like the special effect look like an actual wormy octopus face, like a fucking, like the tentacles moving around and shit. Remember how they had the fucking the demon in fucking Battlefield? How fucking good that shit looked compared to other stuff. They could really do wonders with like a mask for the Sea Devils. It would look fucking spectacular.
With the Silurians, they could have just had it like it was before, but improved the realism of the design, not actually changed.
Like, instead of just looking like a fucking fish, but like weird, they could have like octopus fucking tentacles and shit and whatever. They could do weird shit.
The problem with Silurian and Sea Devil story, it's very limited. It's always about reclaiming the Earth and all that business, and that's just a bit wearing now and a bit been told so many times. You've got to find a different aspect to the Silurians or the Sea Devils.
They need to take a leaf out of Big Finish's Centaurians and classic Who monsters, because they've done so many of them, but every time they do something totally new with them. Yeah, the first Doctor meeting the Centaurian warriors for the first time.
Yeah, I remember that one.
I liked that lion creature with the shoulder that was from another dimension or technically another universe. Because that was cool. They could just continually do stuff like that. See, I don't understand why they don't do that. Like when the Doctor, he said, besides, there was another universe, Battlefield, where Morgan Le Fay battled the Doctor. He called himself Merlin. Maybe the TARDIS was effed up, and he battled her in a series of adventures. Where the last one he locked her away or something, which was probably a future incarnation of the Doctor. But why don't they do that? Where he's not in this universe. She could go to, well, it wouldn't be her that becomes Merlin, but like the Doctor could become Merlin. The Doctor could go to a different universe or sideways in time, like Sylvester McCoy said. Meaning like, dimensions of the universe, whatever.
I think the future Doctor could have been Capaldi's Doctor because that he would have fitted Merlin.
I could see him as Merlin,
age. You could have had him age just like Matt Smith did, and a 12th Doctor with a beard and even more grouchy than before.
I could have seen, or you could have had Paul McGann be Merlin, maybe. Yeah. No?
Possibly.
What about you, Connor? What do you think about all this?
Connor is dead.
Stop that.
He's dead.
Connor.
He's sleeping.
Connor McLeod of the Clan McLeod.
Connor McLeod of the Clan McLeod, and he cannot die. Ah! I love
bugger.
Yeah. I used to watch that too growing up.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
I saw that in theaters with my dad. Yeah.
Oh, fucking awesome film.
Connie, sleeping? All right. We're going to get out of here because I don't want to hear nobody snoring. All right. Take care. Bye for now.
Bye.